Jules is back. Julie's back. Julie's Carnivore Quest. Welcome. Today is day 8. I would like to report out on the first 7 full days and share something with you that I learned a few months ago, a couple of years ago, probably now actually, and I just think I may not be the only one who sort of had not connected those dots, and maybe this will be a little bit of new information for you. If you have struggled with your eating and or trying to lose weight and or maintain a healthy, diet, meal plan, what have you. But I'm happy that I am 7 full days free of sugar, grains, and carbs of all kinds. 7 days. So I'm happy about that. Every single day is a win. Every single day I know is helping me get healed, and I'm resolving issues that I didn't even know were that big of a deal. Every day is a win. I feel great. I feel good. I played pickleball last night. I'm not very good at it, but I sure enjoyed myself. And had some good volleys and things. There is the community I live in has a pickleball club, and on Wednesday nights in the summer they have like a beginners league where beginners can go and just take turns playing on different, playing with different people and learning and all of that stuff. Pickleball is really enjoyable, but I'm telling you what, some of the rules and the scoring and serving and things are more complicated than they need to be, frankly. They didn't ask me when this game was invented, but yeah, it's a little bit more complex than it needs to be, frankly. So that's how I feel about that. But the game itself is fun. I don't care about the score. I don't care about winning. I just want to have a good time. I'm not competitive with all that stuff, like, it's okay. I just had some lunch. Excuse me. I had ribeye, I had ribeye for breakfast and just a small bit, like maybe probably 5 ounces. And then I went and did a couple of things. I went and had to pick up some flea and tick and stuff medicine for my dog. And anyway, did a whole other thing, and now I came back home and ate, and I was going to go bike with a friend this evening, but now we have rain and thunderstorms, so we will do our bike tomorrow. And so today I am at home. Of course, you may be able to hear Sydney in the background chewing on her bone, as she does every time I record a video. Sydney. Oh. So I wanted to talk about, I had already recorded an entire video this morning, but I had it filmed vertical instead of horizontal instead of vertical. I'm 60 years old and I still get that mixed up. It's just the way it is. I filmed it vertical and I should have filmed it horizontal. So when I tried to upload it, all you saw was like this part of me, like this little bit. Everything else was, it just didn't work. So I'm trying this again. So I want to share with you something that I realized a couple of years ago when I was starting to really come to terms with the fact that I had a food addiction. And it is the fact that I learned to overeat, and I learned to ignore my hunger and satiation signals. And because I learned to overeat, I have spent the last 59 years trying to do things and was getting nowhere because I didn't realize how messed up I had gotten about really understanding what my own body's signals were telling me, because it was just so out of whack. Here are 2 things that I really started to consider and have been a little bit of a revelation. Number one, I remember my grandmother telling me when I was a very small girl that I had put whatever on my plate at a meal. You know, we used to go to Sunday dinner at the grandparents, so we would have whatever meal, usually like fried chicken and like all the things. And I remember her saying, when I remember being at the table and I remember being full, that I couldn't eat anymore, and I still had food on my plate, and that was a big no-no. Like, my grandparents grew up, they were adults during the Depression. My mother was born in the late 30s, and my father, so they were children during the Depression, or during the end of the, you know, they towards the end of the Depression, but, you know, so food, you did not take food that you were not going to eat. Absolutely 100% not. If you took it, you ate it. You did not waste it. Nothing went to waste. So for her to say your eyes are bigger than your stomach was kind of like, you better take care of that because you took it. So you need to finish that. So that's the first That's the first thing. I learned after that to eat whether I really still wanted it or not, because that was the expectation. Because there was like not to be wasting any food, not ever, not one bite. The other one was the Clean Plate Club. Now, I don't remember my mother telling me about the Clean Plate Club, but I remember, again, it being a product of their upbringing, that you ate what was on your plate, whether you wanted it or not. And if you were full, you had to finish it. But even later, like the Clean Plate thing, by the time my kids were tiny, that was sort of the thing to say. And it was really just meant to encourage them to try things and eat their food rather than wanting to snack all the time, as little kids tend to do. So the intent wasn't like malicious. It wasn't an intent of encouraging you to overeat. It was really an intent. The intents were different of both of those things. But what my brain took those lessons as was completely different than what was intended. So that whole Clean Plate Club thing became, again, similar to the eyes bigger than stomach, that you finished it, whether you really were hungry or not. What that did, though, was really mess up all of my hunger signals about, am I hungry? Am I full? Am I satisfied? I learned to finish what I took. And whether I was satisfied or whether I was completely stuffed, I could still eat it. And I would end up eating to the point of being uncomfortable and practically nearly nauseous. But I would still not even recognize that I was satisfied and full. Does that make sense? I've talked to quite a few people about this, so I know that I'm not the only one that has started to realize these things. But when you start to really look at, like, why do I do that? You know, and then you just sort of go backwards, like, what do I remember about this? Anyway, so that was something I wanted to share, so that maybe you can start to be aware. If you are like me and you can easily overeat and then later be like, and we've all kind of had that holiday meal where we eat too much and we're like, oh, I don't feel so good now. It's a similar thing. We've learned to eat to excess, even though we don't really want to, but we haven't really processed how to get the signals in time to stop ourselves or whatever. But then there was another thing that came up too that I wanted to talk about, hopefully fairly quickly. And it's about snacking at night. And maybe I'll do a whole separate video on that, because I started to realize that snacking at night wasn't just the fact, I mean, I was never actually, let's be real, are we ever actually hungry? Or are we feeling like we want some snacks for different reasons than hunger? Reasons like boredom, it's a little treat because I've had a hard day, just something to do with your hands while you're watching TV. Because, we all go to the movies and we would watch a movie and eat popcorn or whatever your little thing was, licorice, red vines. So are we eating out of habit or boredom or whatever? I realized a lot of my snacking at night and when my cravings tend to become too much is when I'm really tired. I'm just tired. And once I started to recognize, hey, I want to eat all these snacky things and I didn't know it. I mean, I hadn't put together that it was a physiological little boost. When you get all that sugar and carbs in your system, it was like a little boost of energy, a little boost of fuel. And I hadn't really put that all together until, a couple of years ago. And I was like, hold on a minute. Wait just a minute. So once I started recognizing that, then it's like, oh, okay, I see. I see what this is. My brain is manipulating me into eating something I'm not even hungry for because I'm tired and maybe I just need to go to bed. Or because I have a habit and I just don't know how to get out of it. I'm going to do another whole video on that because, girl, it's a thing. It's a thing. Our brain plays tricks on us all the time, and we don't even realize it because it's been happening so long, and we just, and when you start to recognize that, now we can find better freedom. Freedom from cravings, freedom from emotional eating, which I also have a whole thing to say about that. Freedom from all of that silliness. Once we really start to dig into where it came from and what it really is. So I'm going to do some more videos on those because, yeah, it's a thing. And I can't believe I went all these years and didn't even know it. Like, what? I feel cheated. Not really. I'm going to go for now. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Have a good day.